Hi friends, my name is Rhoda and this is my channel Peace Be Still, and I am wanting to make some focaccia bread. I have been trying to research this and different things, and I have so much flours here since I started this gluten-free diet. Oh. But I will leave both recipes for gluten-free and the regular recipe for focaccia bread. Look at all this I have gathered. This is all from my pantry, and it's stuff that I just, over the past year and a half or 2 years, I don't remember how long it's been, I found what I don't like and what I like. I do not like almond flour. Sorry for those that do. I don't like that gritty texture. And for gravies, forget it. I have found with all these flours, Bob's Red Meal gluten-free 1-to-1 is okay. It does better with some breads than the King Arthur brand, but I really like the King Arthur brand flour for my gravies and different things. I'm always going to it. I found a recipe online that I'm going to try, but then it takes money to buy all this stuff, you know, and it's stuff that I don't have here, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. This is expensive. You know, some people give me, my neighbor's giving me the coconut flour, and I've never heard of this, but banana flour, I've never heard of that. And I have to try to figure that out. My sister gave me some masa. It's gluten-free to make cornbread and different things. But the other stuff like the potato flour and different things, and I found out the potato flour and potato starch are two different things altogether. It's a learning curve to me. So I'm starting over. I want a good bread. I want one that tastes delicious and it isn't gritty or paper-like, if you know what I mean. It doesn't have that weird taste or texture. So, and I know what paper tastes like. I've ate it before when I was younger. I was dared and I did it. And some of this stuff does taste like paper. I'm not, no kidding. Little information you probably didn't want to know. But let's make some focaccia bread. I want to see how this turns out. Okay, I've got my station ready. In here I have 2 cups of my gluten-free King Arthur measure flour, and here I have 2 teaspoons of yeast, a half a teaspoon of sugar is what the recipe called for, but I put in a full teaspoon, and there is a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I put in 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Throw that in there. Get that a whisk. I find it's easier to whisk your dry ingredients first before you start adding your liquid. Much better. Okay. And then it also, the way she had it online, she put her olive oil in and then mixed it together and then added her water after that. It calls for a 1/4 cup in the original recipe. I'm doing it half. So just more than 1/8 of a cup is what I'm putting in there. And she stirred that in. I don't know why they do this first. She said you want to stir it until it gets like a sand-like mixture. So that's what I will do. And then it calls for 1 cup of warm water. Between 90 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you mix that together until you can get the lumps out. She said you might have to add more water, and I might have to. Yeah, just slightly more. Not much, but just slightly. might have maybe 1/8 of a cup. Because these flours will absorb that liquid. And you do this for a little bit until you get it to a smooth mixture. Roll it all the way. I think this is when you need your stand mixer. That's all I'm doing. I'm not doing any more. You are supposed to put this in a separate bowl and let it rise. That actually looks about like hers though, because hers was sticky. But okay. Put some olive oil in your pan or your bowl. Apparently quite a bit, because it's so sticky and it requires a lot of olive oil. So I got a lid for this bowl, and I'm just basically going to put it on it and set it off to the side for a couple hours. You know, it's so warm here in Kentucky this week that the warm place for this would be out on my porch, and that's where it's going to go to rise. It's cooler in here with the air going. So my focaccia bread has been rising for over 2 hours. It says you can do a lot longer, a couple hours, up to 6 hours, or even overnight. Depend on the flavor that you want to get out of it, I guess. They say to take a pan and liberally oil it. I mean, put a lot of oil on it, because it, I don't know, it needs a lot of oil apparently. And you make sure you get all your sides and everything oiled really well. It feels like oil soup. Ooh. There, I got it all oiled well. Oh, that's a lot of oil. And then take your focaccia bread. You put it in your pan. I'm going to put some oil on this hand. And you start, ooh, maybe I should let it rise a little bit longer. I don't know. But I did have the recipe too, so I'm not going to fill this whole pan like she did hers. But you're supposed to pat it out in your pan like this. And see if I make a mistake out of this. I've got it all spread out. It's not real thin. And now I'm supposed to cover it and let it rise for another 30 minutes. And I have a tea towel here that I will use to cover it. And let it sit and rise. So it's been an hour since I did this, because I keep checking it and it's just not rising. So I'm just going to go from here, and well, I guess it did rise more than what I thought. It didn't look like it, but look how pillowy it is. Oh, so it wasn't a fail. But it looked like it. So you're supposed to poke your fingers in it like this. And I don't have rosemary, but I've got some Italian seasoning, and I know it's not fresh, but I'm going to use what I have. And I'm just going to sprinkle this on it. I think it'll be all right. I might be overdoing it with the seasoning, but It's okay. And then I want a little bit of salt, but not, I don't have flake salt, so I'm just going to sprinkle a little salt, not much. And they say to put a little bit more olive oil on it, as if I don't have an, you know what? I know what I'll do. I've got a lot of oil here. I think that's good enough. Don't you? Now we're supposed to put this in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And bake it until it's golden brown. I say at least 20 minutes. Because my oven runs cooler, I'll probably leave it a few more minutes. Usually I have to, with pizzas or anything I cook, I have to leave it additional 5 minutes. But that's something with some ovens. They just don't work like everybody's ovens. You know, each one is different. But let's bake this and see how it turns out. It's still not really golden brown yet. I had the timer set, but it didn't go off properly. Well, folks, that was a disaster. I think I made a cracker instead of a bread. And it could be because I didn't put the full recipe down, or I added the baking powder. Maybe I should have left it out completely. I know I have viewers out there that will let me know what I did wrong. But here it is. It's stuck to the pan. For one, the pan's really hot. But it's stuck to the pan. And it's that was a fail. Oh my goodness. Let me see. I'm gonna make croutons out of it. It's got good flavor. Lord have mercy. Well, I really don't think I'll try her recipe again. I might go and look at, there's a lady that I also follow for gluten-free recipes. It says, Let Us Eat Gluten-Free Cake. Is that her channel? Miss Kim, or Kim. She has a focaccia bread that is also supposed to be better. Maybe. I will link the recipe to this below. Or, if you want to follow that, but it don't taste bad. But it'd be alright with soup. If you followed me this far, I am so sorry. Will I publish this video? I don't know. Maybe I will. Just to let you know not what to do. Yeah. Don't do what I did. Well, if all else fails, make pizza. If I can get the jar open. I can't get this jar open, Wayne. So I'm going to put this back in the oven until the cheese melts. Look at that. It could have been the King Arthur bread that I used, because like I said before, it's not meant for gluten-free breads with yeast because it doesn't do well. Well, it doesn't do well. But for today, I turned what would have been focaccia bread into pizza. I think it'll taste good this way. And, you know, if all else fails, make something else out of it. So, let's see what this tastes like. That makes a good cheese pizza. So until next time, God bless you all. I'll see you again.